Hey guys, welcome back to another SPEEDPAINT. I've had like a really rough day, 2 days, 3 days, I don't know. It's been a little rough these past 3 days, and I just, want to do something different today. But before we start, I want to say that this speed paint you see today is a Draw This in Your Style by Magdalena Dianova at magdalena.dianova in Instagram. So I'll leave the link down below if you want to check her out. But I just wanted to do a Draw This in Your Style. First one I found was this one, and I worked on it. So that's all I gotta say. I hope you like it. But for today, I thought, I've been having a few bad days. I don't feel like, ranting about my pain and me whining for 20 minutes like I usually do. I just feel like I'm past that today. I want to do something fun. So I was like thinking about what to do, and I found something that might be, funny / useful for some of you. And I'm gonna be explaining some Colombian idioms or expressions to you that probably make no sense if you translate them literally to English. That's what most idioms are, right? Like you can't just translate them and make sense. Maybe some you can. But at first I was like, okay, can I come up with some idioms? And I'm like, no way. But I found this article I'll post in the description by someone named Yampola Bianchi. It's the 2015 article, so it's called 18 Funniest Expressions in Colombian Spanish and How to Use Them. And I thought, this might be funny, but it might also be useful. If you ever plan on coming to Colombia and your Spanish is very limited, or maybe you have good Spanish, you might have good Spanish, but like idioms are very particular to a country or even like a city, a region. So maybe, I'm fluent in Spanish. Obviously, my native language is Spanish. But if I go to, I don't know, Argentina, it's going to be so different because they have different words, they have different expressions. So I just thought we will go through some of them that are on this list. I'm not going to go through all of them because some of them are MONCA and some of them are not used where I am from, like in my part of the country, not very used. So I thought like that wouldn't be fun. So yeah, I'll leave the link in the description to this article if you wanna check all of them out. But the first one they have is Están mamando gallo. Oh my god. And what it literally means is give a blowjob to a rooster. Not necessarily though. I'm like, I'm not gonna talk about the MONCA ones, and that's the first one. I had never seen it that way because I know that if that was the only meaning to it, my mother and nobody in my family would have been okay with me saying this as a child. But I did say mamando gallo as a child because mamando is also eating. So it's more, for me, my whole life it has been more like eating rooster than giving a blowjob to a rooster, which I don't think you can do and you shouldn't. So for me, it's always been like eating rooster. But what this means is just joking around. So if you're like teasing a friend and the friend is like, stop teasing me, and you go like, oh no, I'm just eating rooster. That's the expression. Amazing, I know. Okay, and so the second expression is se abrió, which literally means open themselves, but what it means is leaving. So for example, if I'm very angry and I want to leave, I'll just abrirme, me abro. I leave, I open myself from the situation, which it translated in English sounds kind of silly because opening up in English means like you let your feelings out, but in this case you just leave, you open yourself. Goodbye. There's one that I don't know if in this list because I just like skimmed it away, but like one particular idiom that I always have a difficulty with is salado versus salty, which it means the same thing. It's like something salado is something salty, but in English when you get salty means that you're like bitter, jealous, just angry. Like you're playing a video game, you start losing, you start getting angry, so you start getting salty, right? I think that's the most common use. But for us, being salty is having bad luck. So if you're having like a bad streak, you will be salty. Something like you will go to a friend and be like, hey man, I don't know, I just stepped on poop, and then a bird pooped on me, and then I went into the bus and the baby next to me pooped. And someone will be like, oh man, you're so salty. So sometimes I'm like, chilling, talking to my friends, my American friends, and I accidentally use the unlucky meaning of salty, and it makes no sense. I don't know if it is in the list, but I that's one that I always like run into trouble with the translation. Okay, this one is, I like it. This one is number 6, because the other ones I don't want to say them. But this one is son como uña y mugre, and literally it means like fingernail and dirt. And what it means is that they're really close friends, because fingernails have dirt under them, so being like fingernails and dirt is just being best friends. So if you're, I don't know, with your family and one of your cousins brings a friend, your aunt might be like, oh yeah, they're like fingernail and dirt, meaning they're always together. That would be like a like a good explanation to that. I mean, I think that one is just pretty self-explanatory. Okay, next one is la cagué, which I use a lot. If you've ever heard me say it and you don't know what it means, well, it literally means shit it. I shit it. And what it means is I made a mistake. So if I, drew in the wrong layer, then I shit it. I shit it. It's just also very, I feel like it kind of makes sense in English, but maybe it's just me knowing what it means. Like I feel like maybe completely, if I wasn't from here, I was just born and raised in America, and I said that, people would be like, what the fuck? So I don't know. And this one is a very popular one. It's está dando papaya. Literally means you give papaya. And what it means is that you put yourself in a position where you will be laughed at, or you make it easy for others, I would say it's a better description. So for example, if you are in a very dangerous part of the city and you're talking on your phone, and you know it's a dangerous part of the city, and someone just comes in and robs, like just takes your phone and goes running away, you kind of gave them papaya because you made it so easy for them. They just had to grab your phone. Or I think a better thing and a better explanation would be if you're in a mall and you have like jeans on that have back pockets, even though if you're a woman, that probably doesn't exist for you. But if you have, and you put like your phone in your back pocket and it's kind of like just poking out, and someone behind you can just grab it easily, then you're giving papaya because you made it so easy for them. They didn't even have any effort. Also, another way you can use like papaya. This is more like when I was in school, in elementary school. I don't know if kids say this anymore, but if a quiz or a task was very easy, you would say it was papaya because it was very easy. So that's another way you can use papaya. But I'm 28. I don't know if kids still use that. And I'm pretty sure middle school, nobody said that. It was only elementary school saying like papaya, papayita. That was totally elementary school. But I don't know. Maybe children still say that. I have no idea. I would have to ask my niece. Okay, next one. Él le echó los perros. Oh, God. Release the hounds. He released the hounds, and if you want to know what that means, it means you're flirting. In this case, he is flirting. So if you want to flirt with a girl, you're releasing the hounds on her. I guess. I mean, this is the definition of like giving in this page. I would say it's also kind of like he threw the dogs at her. That's if I hadn't seen Release the Hounds, I would have never gone to Release the Hounds. I would have said he threw the dogs at her. So I don't know. It's weird. It's not something I ever use, but I can see like my friends using it pretty easily. I don't use a lot of these idioms anymore, mostly because most of my friends are not from here, and the ones that are I haven't seen them in like 5 months. So there's that. Next one in this list. Well, I'm not saying all the list. I think I already said that, but I'm skipping some. This one is hacemos una vaca, and it translates to making a cow. And what it means is you make a pool of money. So for example, we're gonna, throw a party and we want to buy drinks and food and whatever. So you would make a cow. So a lot of people would put money in the cow, and then someone would go and buy the stuff. That's what it means. I think that one might be useful if you're coming here to live and you make friends and they're like, oh, let's make a cow, and you're like, what the fuck? No, they just want some money. So we get some resources, material, drinks, stuff. Okay. This one is a really common one. The next one, it's párame bolas, which this article says stop their balls. For me, it's kind of like stand the balls. I don't know how to. I guess stop their balls is fine. But what it means is pay attention. So this one is so common that I use it so much and so naturally that it's like I hadn't even noticed it was like a specific expression from here, and other people might not understand it if I say hey párame bolas, like it might not, it's not as common as I thought, but this one is so common. So it just literally means pay attention to me. So if like you're talking and someone's in their phone, you're like, hey, stop their balls, stop your balls. Or stop my balls. Párame bolas is stop my balls. No, párame bolas. Okay, I want to kind of Google translate this now. So according to Google Translate, like they literally translated as stop me balls. Stop me balls. Why does that sound so funny? But I would say like stop my balls would be like a better definition than stop their balls, because I feel like they're referring to my balls. Párame bolas. Oh no, it's their balls. I don't know what I'm saying. I'll stop saying balls now. I'm sorry. Let's move to the next one. Ponte las pilas. This one is like also very common. My brother said this to me like just last week about getting a job. So it translates to put your batteries in, and it just, well, here it says to be careful, but I think it's more than that. Like, yeah, ponte las pilas might be like be careful, but also like in my brother's context was like put your batteries in, get a job, like, hey, you need a job, get a job. So like get your energy, how do I say this, like get moving and get a job, I would say, not just be careful, because my brother wasn't saying like be careful, get a job. He was like get a job now, so because you need it, we need it, so that's very common too, and also something I would have never thought as an idiom because I use it so commonly. The next one, que oso. I feel like que oso is not necessarily Colombian, but I'm not 100% sure. I feel like I've heard people from other countries say que oso. It translates to what a bear, or yeah, what a bear, and it just means embarrassing. So when you do the bear, you're embarrassing yourself basically. So what a bear. Oh no. Let's say you walk your first day in class and you trip and fall. You would say, oh, what a bear. That one sounds kind of funny in English. People should stop saying that. Start saying that, I'm sorry, in English. Next one. Okay, this one I thought was really funny, and it's tengo un filo que si me agacho me corto. That's a long way, like a long phrase. I would never say it like that. I would just say tengo filo. Well, I wouldn't say that. My brother would say that. My dad would say that. I would never say something like that. I don't know why. But it means, it translates to sharp. Like I have sharp, being sharp. I don't know how you would say it. Let's see what Google translates. I'm sharp. So Google translates it to I'm sharp. And it just means you're hungry. So if you're hungry, you're just like, I'm sharp. kind of sounds like you're hangry, because I don't know, every time like someone says it, I kind of don't see it like a casual way of saying I'm hungry. I see it more like they'd be like aggressively hungry, like hangry. So that would be the that. Now the first one I said, the really long one, literally means cut themselves if they bend over. I'm sharp, cut themselves if they bend over. I just don't know. Let's just go to the last one in this list, which is colgar los guayos. It translates to hang up their shoes, their soccer shoes, specifically for American soccer, for everyone else football. But apparently, I did not know this, honestly, but apparently football or soccer is such a big part in Colombia's culture, which is true. People go insane here. I would compare it to like American football, or just football in America, or like, you know, whatever. It's like the biggest sport here, I would say. But when they die, they just don't die, and they hang up their soccer shoes. So apparently this means they die, but I'm like almost, I mean, someone from here correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna have to ask some of my friends, but for me, like, it also means retiring. Like, someone retires, they hang up their soccer shoes. I think saying they die is an extreme, very extreme one. So I don't know. That one was kind of weird. I thought I'd look for some extra ones, even though this video is already really long, but I've taken breaks, so I don't know how long it is true because of the breaks. So I looked this other page. I'll also link it down below, but this one is called 9 Colombian Idioms and Their English Equivalents by languagetrainers.com, someone named Anna. So I just skimmed through it, and the first one I thought was like something that is kind of like an expression here, but I feel like it's very similar to something in English. Like, it makes sense when you say it in English, and it's caerle a un chico o una chica, to fall at a boy or a girl. It translates to, and it just means like you're trying to woo somebody. You're trying to fall on them, at them. I don't know. But if you're like, you know, giving them gifts or like asking them out, shit like that, you're like falling at them, which I feel like kind of makes sense because falling in love is a thing in English. So it's not the same thing, but it kind of makes sense, if you know what I mean. This next one, I'm just gonna say this is kind of something my grandparents would say. I don't think young people say that, but also maybe young people do say that and I'm just disconnected. But this one is me importa un comino, and it literally translates to it matters a speck of cumine to me. Cumine, I think you pronounce it cumine. I might be wrong. C-U-M-I-N, cumine, right? So it translates to it matters a speck of cumine to me, but it means I don't give a damn. So if you don't give a damn, you don't give a speck of cumine, apparently. This one I thought was pretty funny, and I think you're gonna like it. And this one is ¿Y quién pidió pollo?, which translates to who ordered chicken. But it means something a guy might say to a girl when they're flirting, but as a woman person, I would say, if someone ever said that to me, I would grab my bag tight to my body and walk as fast as possible. But that just might be me. I've never seen someone non-ironically use this. Like, I feel like this is something people tease you with. Like, your close friends will tease you with this. If you're like, you know, if you're like me and like 80% of the time you look like a slob, and then one day you put effort and look nice, then one of my friends, and I mean like any gender friend, would say that to me as a joke. I don't think I've ever heard this being said seriously, but who knows. And it's just, you know, like saying like, oh, you look so good looking. I don't know. Apparently comparing to chicken is something attractive. I kind of feel like that's a little weird. Let's do 2 more. This one is estar en la olla, which translates to be in the pot, but it's comparable to the English to be in hot water. So It's the same thing. It just means you're like, you have no money, you're broke, you're in the pot. And last one but not least, and this one might be very useful because if you come specifically to my city or other cities in Colombia, you might hear this term a lot, which is rumbear. Rumbear literally means partying. So if someone is like, oh, you want to go rumbear, it just means they want to party with you. Let me see what it says here because I actually don't know the origin of this word. It's a crucial word to not only know in Colombian society, but to live. Oh my god, that's so dramatic. Rumbear means to party, taken of course from the dance rumba, even though rumba is not like anything. Like a rumba here, it's like a party. Like someone will be like, oh, there's like a rumba there. There's just a loud party. So I don't know. Traveling or living in a country that takes its good times very seriously, you will definitely encounter this word more than once. But yeah, those are some expressions or idioms that you might find in my country if you ever visit, and if this helped you, then I'm glad. But if I thought it would just be something lighthearted and funny to talk to, and maybe you learn more about my culture. So I don't know. If you're from another country, maybe teach me some idioms because I have a hard time with idioms in other countries. Okay, I remember I've tried learning, other than English, I tried learning Italian, Swedish, and French. And every time we get to the idioms, I'm just like dead. And I know Duolingo has like an idiom section. I tried learning both Swedish and Italian in Duolingo, and when I got to the idioms part, Italian wasn't that hard because I just kind of like, Italian and Spanish were very similar, but Swedish, no idea what anything meant. And I started learning French in school, but I was also not very good at, like, the only one I can remember is Sacre Bleu, which means sacred blue, which if you're not French probably means nothing. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I'm sorry if this was kind of different and boring. This was all I was in the mood for. I'll leave the link to the 2 articles in the description and a link to the reference picture for this Draw This in Your Style. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week. Bye.